Welcome back to my channel. So today we are actually going to look at a collection of inks that I have quite a lot of from over the years. I have 18 of the Ferritales inks, so I don't have them all, but I have quite a lot of them. And people keep asking how some of them compare to each other, and so I figured I'd just swatch them all out. So we'll talk about what the color is supposed to be, what the shimmer and shading and sheen are supposed to be, and how they actually look on the paper. So let's get into this. First up is Brilliant Beanstalk. This is actually one of the Ferritales colors that I use quite frequently. It is one of my favorite sort of moody pale greens and happens to have a quite pretty champagne shimmer to it. And so I find myself reaching for it quite often, especially in the spring and summer, when I want a green that has just a little bit more personality to it. This is the color I reach for. Emerald Gardens is up next, and it's a color that I always talk about potentially culling from my palette. It's not actually an ink that I use all that often, but it is very different than any of the other Ferritale shimmery colors out there. It is a very true green with a tone-on-tone green shimmer, and it is very pretty if you're into greens. I'm not really into greens, and so I find myself not reaching for it very often, but I do have friends that adore it. Gale Force Green is a newer addition to the Ferris Wheel Press Ferritales lineup, but I do really like how they've matched the moodiness with a brighter shimmer color, which all just sort of complements each other to make a really cool and unique ink. So I really enjoy the pinky purple shimmer that it's got in it with the dark green. Knitted Nettle is another color that is frequently on my I might cull list. I don't know what it is about this color. I never find myself reaching for it. I've owned a bottle of it for several years at this point, and I just don't use it. And I wish I did, because I know so many people that actually genuinely like it. And for whatever reason, I just don't get along with it. And it's just never the ink I reach for to put into a pen. I don't know if it's like the ink color and the shimmer color combo or what it is, but there's something about it that I just don't love. This is one of the few Ferritale colors that I wish I owned 2 bottles of. It's Ribbiting Pond. I've currently got it in a pen inked up. It is this beautiful cerulean base color with a pink shimmer to it, and it is just so pretty. It shades. It always looks good no matter what pen nib you put it in, and I just absolutely adore when I get to use it in a pen, and I deeply regret not buying a second bottle of it when it was still available. Unfettered Flight is up next, and this is sort of the closest I'll go towards Wendy Darling in my own palette. I find Wendy Darling, as much as I love it, I agree with everyone else, it's just too light to write with, whereas Unfettered Flight is slightly darker. It still has the same sort of really lovely shading that Wendy Darling has, but is just more readable, and so I absolutely adore getting to use it in a pen. This next color is actually one of Mom's picks. This is Glistening Glass, which was part of their like early Ferritales collection. It's roughly themed on Cinderella. My only complaint about this color is I wish it had a silver shimmer instead of a gold shimmer. The silver feels much more Cinderella to me, but I do really love the dark blue-gray though, and I think it does work really well with the gold. It just doesn't work super well with the storyline with the gold. Moonbeam Meadows is new, and it's back to like tone on tone, and I'm obsessed. I love a good shimmer that's tone on tone shimmer. There's just something about it that I'm obsessed with. I also love the base color for this. It's a really pretty lilac, lavendery color, and I cannot wait to have this inked up in a spring pen this summer. So if you have any recommendations for what pen I should put it in, let me know down below. This next color was the very first Ferritale ink I ever got, and I'm still obsessed with it. I sort of ration out using it because it's not super available anymore. It's Poison Envy. I will say the camera does not do it justice. It's too reflective for the camera to pick up the sheening for whatever reason, but it is so stunning. I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed since the first moment I swatched this color back in the spring of 2023, and I still adore it. If you can find a bottle from somebody getting rid of it, pick it up. Next up we have Sugar and Spite. I thought this was called Sugar and Spice for a long time, but it is not. It's super fun. It's hot pink. It's tone on tone. I've currently got this inked up in my Esterbrook SD Punch, and I absolutely adore it. I find that I sort of forget about this ink for a couple months, and then I come back to it, and I'm obsessed with it again. It's not an ink that's frequently in my rotation, but I do love it when it is. This color is brand new. I'm already planning how I'm going to get a second bottle of this because this just came in PR. It isn't actually officially out yet. It is called Whispers of Twilight. From the second I saw the color description of this, I was in love, and it is perfect. It is the perfect, like, dusty, moody purple color. Doesn't lean too blue, and it is stunning. Billowing Blush has been my longtime favorite moody pink, which I think is lost to Whispers of Twilight as like my favorite pinky purple, but Billowing Blush is super cute if you want a pale pink. I do really like it. I find that it is readable in stuff as small as a medium. I don't use fines or extra fines with glitter ink. I just don't have good luck with them, but it is readable in a medium. Radiant Rose Wings is fast becoming one of my favorite pink shimmer inks, simply because I feel like I didn't pay a lot of attention to it at first, and now it really reminds me of Pink Eraser, and I'm just really happy anytime I have it inked up in a pen. It's pink, it's got a gold shimmer to it, it's happy, it's bright, it's just, it knows what it is, and it is totally happy with being really girly, and I'm okay with that. Next up, we have an ink that came out just before Christmas this year. It's called Ambrosia Indulgence. I think they launched this at the perfect time. I think if they'd launched it any other time of year, like, it just wouldn't have hit as hard as it did, but they launched it just before Christmas. It is very much a Christmas ink. It is a burgundy Bordeaux color that has a in-your-face gold shimmer. It does not show up well on camera, but it is fabulous in person. Plated Gold Tresses was my first ever Ferritales multi-bottle buy, and I'm not sorry about that. It is my favorite gold. It is my go-to gold. It has been in a pen daily since March of 2024. I'm obsessed with it. It is my favorite gold by far, and it's just utterly fabulous. I love that it doesn't clog my Faco Sport Double Broad. It has been in that pen for, at this point, over a year. I've not cleaned that pen, and it is still going strong. Oinking Embers was part of the Three Little Pigs collection from summer 2024, I believe, and it is very cute if you like orange. I do not like orange particularly much, but I'm not offended by this orange, and so that's a win. It's also got a very nice, like, tone-on-tone shimmer to it, which I do really like. Age of Urim is up next. I've actually got this in a pen right now. It is in my Navilar Desert Horizon because it is the perfect match for that pen, and I wanted something ink-wise that was very in-your-face shimmery, which this ink totally delivers on. It is very, very shimmery, even though it doesn't look like it, because again, we're back to tone-on-tone shimmer, which honestly might be my favorite sort of shimmer. Last but not least, we have what was sort of a surprise to me to finally have in the Ferritales collection. We have a gray. This is Granite Guardians. It came out in 2025, and I really, really like it. I'm a huge fan of gray. I love gray inks, and so I was happy that Ferritales finally added a solid gray. It's got a pinky wine shimmer to it, and it is so beautiful on a page and in writing. All right, everything is swatched, everything is dried, so let's go over how accurate the box labels are to what's actually on the page. So for this, we're going to zoom in and go row by row. First, we have Brilliant Beanstalk, which is described as being a green base with a champagne shimmer and high shading, and I would say that's pretty accurate. There's no sheening, which it's not supposed to have. And honestly, this is a color I use frequently if I'm looking for a green shimmer in my pen. I like how moody it is. I like that it's not like an in-your-face green, and I really like the shading and the shimmer in it. So I would say that its box description is pretty accurate. Then we have Emerald Gardens. This is described as being a green with a red sheen and green gold shimmer. If I move this, you can sort of see that the shimmer does change. I will say I've never found a paper that it sheens red on, and so I would say I don't know that that is inaccurate. I just haven't found a paper that'll do that for me. Overall, though, I do like it as a green. It is a green that I frequently talk about culling because I don't really use bright, punchy, in-your-face greens, but I do really like the tone and toneness of the shimmer. As long as you're looking at it straight on, when you start to look at it from an angle, it is red, but straight on, it's green, it's tone on tone, and it's spectacularly pretty. We have Gale Force Green, which is a green with a shimmer green-pink duochrome and high shading. I would say this swatch has very little shading going on, but you can sort of see that sparkle change color. I find that some things that I think should shade high based on what they say on the box don't always, and they're really paper specific, where sometimes they'll work on MD but not Tomoe River. This one is a color that I find does work fairly well on MD and just doesn't perform well on Tomoe River for whatever reason. Then we have Knitted Nettle, another color that I frequently talk about culling. This is a dark green with a red sheen and a pink gold shimmer. The pink gold shimmer, definitely there. Red sheen, on the other hand, maybe a little bit through here, but when we get into some of the others that have a sheen, you'll see why I just sort of expect more, because they can do sheening colors really, really well. So let's look at the blues. To start with, we have the Ribbiting Pond, which is a light blue base with no sheening, a green-pink shimmer, and high shading. And I would say that's pretty accurate. You can see just how pale it is down here. It is very shimmery. It is one of my favorite Ferris Wheel Press shimmery colors. I wish I'd bought a second bottle of it while it was still available. I deeply regret that because I adore it. And it's just absolutely fabulous. I've currently got it in my Opus 88 Freezy from Gourmet Pens. Then we have Unfettered Flight, something that I do have 2 bottles of because it's sort of like a readable version of Wendy Darling from Warringall, where it's that really pretty shimmery light blue, but you can actually read it. And so it is described as a light blue with no sheen, a pink gold shimmer, and high shading. And that's pretty accurate. You can see just how pale it can be. I find though, like even in a medium, it's pretty readable. I don't use glitter inks and fine pens, so I don't know how it works in those. And you can see that color shift, which I just adore. Finally, for blues, we have Glistening Glass, which is a blue-gray with a red sheen and a gold shimmer. I don't see a red sheen. And I've had this issue on a couple papers where I just can't make it sheen. I'm sure there's a paper that it does. I'm sure, like Mont Blanc, Jane Austen, there's a paper, it looks umber, or it looks like it's box swatch. I just can't make it sheen. So I'm sure it does sheen. I just can't get it to sheen. Next, we have some purples. I have to say, I love Moonbeam Meadows. I haven't inked it up in a pen yet, but it's got that whole tone on tone shimmer thing, though it does color shift from green to pink. I will say it's more of like a purpley pink, and I adore it. The base color is lilac, and it apparently has high shading. I guess it does, like especially up here, you can see it, and down here. But because I haven't used it in a pen, I can't give you an overall opinion. And then we see why I know that Ferris Wheel Press can do a sheening ink, except it's so reflective it's not showing up on camera. This is Poison Envy, which is a purple base with a yellow sheen. I'd actually call it a green sheen and a green-pink shimmer. If I tilt this, will it show up? Yeah, look at that. So I know that Ferris Wheel Press can do terrific sheening colors because they did Poison Envy, which was the very first sheening color I ever owned, which made me go, oh, these can be super cool. But I just can't get some of these other colors that should sheen to sheen, because up next we have Sugar and Spite, which is a purple that is supposed to sheen yellow. Until I just read this box, I had no idea it was supposed to sheen yellow because I just thought it was this really pretty pink with a pink shimmer that also color shifts to gold, or a goldy pink. You know, is it my tone on tone thing? I really enjoy it. And no idea it was supposed to sheen yellow. So I would say we're one for many on sheening colors. And then we have something brand new. And I didn't think there was anything that was going to beat Ribbiting Pond. And then Whispers of Twilight just came out. When you're seeing this, it hasn't actually been released yet. It will be coming out in the next couple days. This is a purple base with no sheen, a silver shimmer, and medium shading. And I adore it. I adore it so much, I might have to buy a second bottle of it. That is how much I love this color. It is the perfect, like, moody purple. It's sparkly, it's super pretty, and I'm obsessed. I would like it in a non-fairy tales, non-shimmery color, just in a bottle. But for now, I will live with having it as a fairy tale. It's so pretty. Next up, we're continuing like pinky colors with Billowing Blush. This is a pink base with no sheen, a green gold shimmer, and high shading. I will say the green gold shimmer on it is very pretty. So this has definitely been in pens in the past year. I think it only came out in the summer, so it's still available. And then we have Radiant Rose Wings, which is a pink base, no sheening, a pink gold shimmer, and medium shading. I will say, I don't actually find the shading that different between Billowing Blush and Radiant Rose Wings. I don't know what their differentiation between a medium shading and a high shading is. I'm sure there is a very clear set of guidelines for what differentiates the two. I just don't know what it is. I love the shimmer on this one as well. If I had to pick a pink though, because Whispers of Twilight just came out, I think it's now Radiant Rose Wings. It previously was always Billowing Blush because I'm a fan of that moody pink. But now that Whispers of Twilight exists, I think it might be losing to Radiant Rose Wings. Ambrosia Indulgence is super pretty and super reflective, so it's not showing up on camera very well, which is a red base, no sheen, a gold shimmer, and low shading. Look at this. 90% of that swatch is just shimmer. If you want a red for Christmas cards, or burgundy red, because it's not quite a true red, it's more of a burgundy for Christmas cards, this is the color for you. It is absolutely perfect for that purpose. I use gold for my Christmas cards, but I know there's lots of people that use red. So if that's up your alley, this is the color for you. And the final four. Plated Gold Tress. I have many bottles of this color. It's my absolute favorite gold currently. And this is a yellow base, no sheen, a gold green shimmer, and high shading. And I would agree with all of that. You can definitely see the pockets where it has shaded considerably. And it is very shimmery and reflective. I adore it. It's super pretty. Next, we have Oinking Embers, and it is a coral base, no sheening, a green-pink shimmer, and high shading. It's very sparkly. I will say, I tend to just see pink shimmer with it. I don't see the green very much. Age of Aurum, which is currently in a pen, is a light brown ink with no sheening, a gold shimmer, and low shading, all of which I would agree with from having it in a pen. It always looks the same when you make a letter with it, which, if that's what you're into, great. I'm a fan of inks that have shading. I just needed matchy-matchy for this pen, and Age of Aurum delivered that. It is also very reflective. And finally, we have Granite Guardians, which is newish. So there we go. If I was going to pick my top 5 from this, it would be Whispers of Twilight, Plated Gold Tresses, Moonbeam Meadows, Ribbiting Pond, probably Unfettered Flight, though I do really like Sugar and Spite. And those are just made on what I use, not on how accurate they are to their box descriptions. I do really feel like with Ferris Wheel Press inks and with a lot of ink brands, you have to look at other people's swatches. Honestly, I didn't know most of these inks were supposed to sheen, which is now going to be an interesting challenge because the only ink that I've ever found from them that I can get to sheen is Poison Envy, and Poison Envy will sheen on just about anything, to the extent that sometimes it sheens far more than I want. So let me know down below if I have any of your favorites. Did I miss some of your favorites? I do really like the Ferritales inks. I know they're expensive, but they are super fun. Some of these were purchased, some of these were sent to me by Ferris Wheel Press, but my designated content for these various campaigns is all over, and now I just get to do what I want with them. So you get content like this. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.